I really take my time with commissions. I'm very guilty of that. So, Eduardo, my boy, and by extension, you guys, the viewers, here's another commission from my friend. Welcome to Everyone Does Music, where today we're doing, like I said, yet another commission from my friend Eduardo, just because he's my boy. He's supported me a lot, just like a lot of people have supported me, and when possible, I like to help him out with some videos like this, as a way of saying, hey, thanks for putting up with me, my shitty schedule. Today we're checking out the debut album from the band Highwater called Begin Again. This is an album I've actually heard about off and on throughout the years, like, again, very off and on, with it being the side project of former drummer, current vocalist of Atreyu, Brandon Saller. Salu? Who knows? It's no secret that I'm not a big fan at all of the newest sound that Atreyu has been putting out, such as with the recent album Baptized, but go check that album out if you have the time. I would really appreciate it. It really highlights the problems that I have with modern Atreyu music, where I feel like this band, the band Highwater, kind of remedies those problems and sort of does exactly what I wish. Kind of what I wish Atreyu would just do in general, but that's besides the point. This isn't an Atreyu review, this is a Highwater review. Moral of the story, though, is that Atreyu's new music, it's a lot softer and a lot less aggressive than I'm used to from old music from the band, and I was thinking to myself, damn, I really wish they would take that softer side, put it into a side project, put it into something else, and just dedicate all those vibes to one thing, instead of trying to put it into this main project. And surprise, surprise, I think that's what Highwater is supposed to be. In fact, I'm happy to say that Begin Again, this album that we're going to talk about, is exactly what I feel those feelings that songs on Baptized should be getting. This is a representation of how Brandon Saller can be positive and make it enjoyable. And overall, it's just the big theme on this album. Overall, Begin Again has an overly positive vibe, not in the sense that you get tired of it like, oh my god, we're singing happy shit again, oh, the sunshine is glowing, the flowers are blooming. It's positive in a sense that it makes you feel good while you listen to it. Even when the topics are heavier and like it's more like harder things are being discussed. This is the last time I'm gonna bring up the other band Atreyu here, but whereas a lot of Atreyu material was serious and harder set on a rough-edged workhorse element, Highwater feels more like a journey of determination with a happy ending in mind and in practice. The song Terrorizing the Night is a song detailing the fight against a sinister force, one that can be looked at as either one's self-doubt and inner demons, or maybe just the shadows of a person's inner mind and inner mindset and thoughts taking a palpable, feelable form. Regardless of source, it's a fight for survival in the song, with the soaring guitars and high-strained vocals create an overall atmosphere that feels not only hopeful and, like I said earlier, positive, but in a genuine, hopeful environment. It just becomes hopeful, and you come out of it feeling like, okay, we got out of this unscathed. Maybe we do have a couple scratches, but we're out of it, and we're looking towards better horizons. I feel like that's a big focus of this type of song. For a pure and straightforward approach into familiar waters such as these, you can also look at the song Give Me Love. This is also a song that looks towards serious subject matter, and once again carries a tone that feels and manages to keep spirits high. The overall mental and physical direction is going forward, looking on the future, ignoring the past, or at the very least, looking at the past in a way that you can grow from it. And I feel like these two songs just share very similar feelings, and it's worth bringing them up together in comparison. One's about fighting against turmoil, and the other is about proclaiming straight up pure true love and care for somebody in the hard times of a relationship. And like I said, it's the same vibe. It's positivity, and that is positivity just seeping through this album piece by piece. It's not the fake type of positivity you see in like pop music, or something like Katy Perry saying everything's sunshiny and roses. It's genuine positivity to be found within some dark times. This album doesn't stick itself fully into a hole where it's just nothing but positives, nothing but smiles to be had. There's more ominous tone to be found on some songs, such as the song Go Alone featuring, you're not ready for this, M Shadows of Avenged Sevenfold. Get ready for a tone switch up here. This song is about killing a man and the feelings you have after killing the man. It's all about the mental struggle and the overall turmoil that you feel, but it's also told in sort of a almost gentle, lax, and believe it or not, relatable tone. I call it relatable because maybe this isn't about genuinely killing some random guy watching the blood spill from him. The song could also be used as a sort of like metaphor for looking within yourself and killing a past version of yourself. In my own time with this song, I found a lot of lyrics to possibly be pointed at the singer himself. In the second verse, in fact, there's actually this set of lines. It's been a while since I closed my eyes, since I could call myself a man. Just one more morning, the sun would rise, a stranger's blood on my hands. These lines feel to me like the singer is looking at himself as someone who's undergone a lot of mental, perhaps physical changes, again, going back to the idea of a journey being had with a positive outcome in the end, that journey still has some rough bumps and some rough edges along the way. The change can get to a point where it's even spiritual. So much so that it feels like his old life is a different person, this other strange persona, almost alien in fact. In the chorus too, there's references to running from hell, there's talk of sins, and he's looking at his past life, his experience. Like I said, once again, I truly feel like this is himself looking at his old self, as opposed to, hey, I just killed a random guy in LA, he's fucking dead, he's floating down the river, there he goes, bye. Hopefully that's not a police case. Beginning Again is an album that stays true to its name and its overall theme all throughout. Again, a journey is happening here. It's a journey of discovery, admitting fault, and of course, beginning again. But in decidedly more negative songs even, there's glimmers and quick glimpses of hope and positivity, like in Come Alive. The verses focus on a journey, and the chorus feels like the penultimate chapter in said journey. While this is an album with one central goal and idea, it's one that's done well, and there's little to no faltering from the part. You can take albums with one solid thing or one solid idea, you can go the whole album, and you can drag it, you can drain every sense of credibility from that idea, but Hell or High Water actually made an idea like this stretch throughout a full LP in a good way. Really quick before we wrap things up, I want to talk about the best song on this album in my opinion. It's the closing track, We All Want to Go Home. Just as Brandon Saller sings about hearing pounding drums, bombs going off in the distance, it's like we've approached the end of a road, the end of a fight, and a conclusion to one's struggles, even if it's just for a moment. This may be a pause in calamity until the next big bad thing happens. Even if this journey comes to a positive end, there could be worse things on the horizon, but that's okay. Home is now within sight, even if that home is only temporary, even if this feeling of happiness only gets to stick with you for a little bit. At the end of the day, I'm gonna keep saying this fucking word, it's awful. Life is a journey. You're gonna have a lot of lows and a lot of highs. Sometimes there's more lows than highs. You can go for years on end, months on end. Moments will never stop seizing, seemingly, to be nothing but negative and just overall shitty. But it's albums like this that remind you of the positivity that can be found even within that. While there might not be as many unique talking points to bring up in terms of moments or individual members or solos from any instrumental member, that's because as a whole, this album is one complete effort with a solid message behind it. I like to focus on a lot of intricacies and things to be found within different albums. Like I like to say like, oh, his music and his tone switching is very fantastic. Or I like to focus on certain members of the band and say, hey, here they did good, here they did not so good. But here, this is a type of journey that doesn't need that sort of analysis. I can still critically analyze it as being one complete, full thought process. There's good to be found, and as cheesy as that is, it's worth talking about and singing about at times. I listen to a lot of music where it's like, hey, I'm fucking depressed, blank. But sometimes it's just good to sit down with an album like this or spend some time with an album or emotionally connect to an album that just makes you feel good in the end. You could argue that me giving general praise to this album contradicts the thoughts I had on I said earlier it was going to be my last comparison, but this is the wrap up here. You could say that my thoughts here on this album contradict what I said about Atreyu Baptized. There's a big difference here. Baptized was the band's, 7th or 8th album in the course of a lot of albums going from switching the ideas. This is a separate project. This is a new feeling for this project as it is their first work. So it's different in the sense that this isn't them trying to reinvent the wheel for the 5th time over. While Baptized was shallow with attempts at variety, this solid focused efforts towards one central idea pays off in dividends for, at the time of release of this album, a new band. With that put aside, and with all the thoughts before this being considered, Begin Again by Hell or High Water gets a 7 out of 10. That's the album review. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Did you know Hell or High Water was a thing? Are you pissed off about Baptized too? Because I'm so fucking pissed about that album. Fuck. Overall, I hope you're having a good day. I hope you enjoyed the review. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment sections below. I hope you're staying hydrated. I'll see you next time. See ya.